Face it, you're never going to get my power.
Do I look like I need your power?
Hello everybody, JGReactor here, and today I'm going to be talking about the movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I, as of the time of this recording, just went to go see it yesterday, and I even managed to take a photo of the poster while I was at the theater. I might slap it on screen if I want to, I might, but I got a picture there. And today we're going to be talking about this movie, since even though like these reviews aren't something I normally plan to do, I thought, you know, why not? And also my finger keeps getting cut off because I'm using a green screen, but whatever. So, what are my thoughts on the movie without spoiling anything, because that's for the spoiler section of this little review. I enjoyed it actually, quite a bit. In fact, if I had to say, I think it was better than the first one, by a lot. Like, holy crap, is it a drastic difference in change. It is insane how different it is as a movie, I guess you could say. Like, it's fun, but also not at the same time, because there are parts of it I didn't enjoy as much. But for a majority, like a solid hour and a half of the movie to like a solid hour and 40 minutes of it, I had a very good time. But I'm just going to talk about a few things here, and yeah, I'm terrible at this, but I'm not very good at reviews. But, so, one thing I definitely have to say, without spoiling too much, is how much fun the character Agent Stone is in this movie. Like, Agent Stone is a character who didn't have too much time to shine in the first movie, but I really liked his character, and he gets a lot more time to shine in this movie. Granted, it's still not much, but I really, really enjoy his character. He's a lot of fun, he's enjoyable to be around, and honestly, it's so funny because he seems like he's so gay for Robotnik in this movie that it's insane. It's so funny, and it makes him just one of my favorite characters in this movie. I'm not going to say what he does, but he's probably still one of my favorite characters from these movies so far. Honestly, there are a few things I still am not a fan of, such as Ben Schwartz's Sonic. I don't think he's a terrible voice actor. I don't think he's a terrible actor. I just don't like his voice as Sonic, because I kind of was familiar with the voice actor, I believe, who voiced Sonic in Sonic Boom, who I believe is retired from Sonic, where I'm more used to his voice. I'm more familiar with his voice. So hearing Ben Schwartz is still very off-putting. Is it the worst thing ever? No. It's just, I don't like it that much. And I'm still not used to it, and I don't know if I ever will be used to it. But that's just how it goes. As for everyone else, Knuckles and Tails, who are the other characters who have, you know, appearances in this movie, their voice actors are pretty good. I think his name is Idris Elba, plays Knuckles, and he does a fantastic job. I think his voice as Knuckles fits very well, and honestly, I really think he plays a very good Knuckles. Tails, I believe they just got the original voice actors back for Tails, and I'm happy to hear that, because honestly, there's no one else I can really think of who could voice Tails as well, because that is also another voice actor I've heard that, you know, fit the specific character, and the idea of them switching is a bit weird. My only real complaints actually with the voice acting, because I'm not going to judge the actual acting because, you know, it's a live action movie, you kind of get used to that kind of acting. But one weird voice acting thing was with Ben Schwartz. Like, I don't think he's really designed to voice act, like, action scenes, because there's so many parts in this movie where he's just like, whoa, whoa, no, no, whoa, where he's just, it doesn't sound, it sounds like he's phoning it in. He's not like, ah, or, ah, it's just like, whoa! Like, he doesn't seem like he's trying with the action scenes, which I don't like it. That was definitely a put off with the action scenes. It made them a little harder to sit through, because I didn't like his voice acting when it came to those scenes, but again, I'm still not used to Ben Schwartz. It will probably take me many times of watching the movies for me to finally adjust, and it might not even adjust, who knows. And another thing I'd have to say is probably one of my favorite scenes in this movie, that without spoiling too much, is people have probably said this already in their own reviews, but there is a dance-off in this And even though a lot of people say it's a waste of time, it's my favorite scene in the movie. It is such a ridiculous scene. I was laughing my head off when I was watching it. I was having such a good time that I don't care what anyone says. I love that dance-off scene. 100%. It's probably my favorite scene in this movie, solely because of how absolutely ridiculous it is. One thing I have to complain about unrelated to this movie has got to be spoilers, because for some stupid reason, 3 major plot points were spoiled to me. One is the post-credit scene's big reveal. One is the final battle and what happens to Sonic during that final battle. And one, I believe, is just kind of just when Knuckles came in. Yeah, that was about it. But all 3 of those were parts that were in the movie, and I was just so upset because 2 of the 3 would have been really big reveals. Even my friend, because I went to go see it with a friend, when we went to see it, he said because he didn't see any of that stuff because he's not really on YouTube that much, he was completely surprised. He was completely caught off guard when that stuff came in. But me? No, because the internet, despite the people that's the company, Paramount, said, oh yeah, don't spoil the movie. People were just like, frick that, and just went off and decided to spoil it. It annoyed the heck out of me. Yeah. I'm starting to think I should probably enter some spoiler territory. So here's a timestamp to when I give my final opinion and what my final number on this will be. So if you want to go see that, you can. But yeah, right now I'm just gonna talk about some spoiler stuff now. So you have been warned. If you just want to see my final opinion, just skip to that part in the video. But if you want to hear what I have to say about some spoiler stuff, go ahead and stick around. So, one thing I agree with a lot of people on is this random scene in the movie where after Sonic gets brought to a wedding that his human friend, whose name I can't remember right now, unless it's like Tom or something, where Tom is going to a wedding, which would have been fine if they just used that as an excuse to get him out of the movie, but no, they bring that back in, where they reveal the whole wedding was a setup to capture Sonic. And after that, the wife of Tom and her sister one tries to get revenge on her fiance, where it turns into like a romance where the soldier who was meaning to pretend to be her lover ended up actually falling in love with her, the sister, and the wife saving Sonic and everyone else, which that felt a little unnecessary. It was unnecessary, but I still had a very good time watching. I would happily rewatch that scene as like a clip, but overall it was very pointless to the movie, and it would have been fun. It would have been more like, it would have made much more sense if they just cut that out and just had the wife just straight up go in, save Sonic, and get out. Another weird, this is a complaint, but why is it explosions could somehow so easily knock out characters in these movies? Like in the first movie, an explosion happens behind Sonic, which barely seems to damage him, and then yet somehow that knocks him out. And then in this movie that happened too with Tails, where a small explosion was near Tails, and it somehow knocked him out, even though it really wasn't that big of an explosion. So, yeah, these movies seem to have an obsession with explosions that knock people out, despite the fact they really shouldn't. But, yeah, it's fine, I guess. But, meh. The human characters were definitely probably one of the more downside things in this. And one complaint I do kind of have is with Jim Carrey's Robotnik. Like, I myself am not familiar with Robotnik enough, so I don't really understand his character too well, but something just felt off with Jim Carrey as Robotnik. In the last movie, he fit pretty well. I thought he worked really well in that movie, but with this one, it just felt off for some reason. I think it was especially clear when he gets the Chaos Emerald at the very end, or not the Chaos Emerald, that's the group of Chaos Emeralds, the Master Emerald, when he gets the Master Emerald at the end of the movie. I really didn't know what to think of that. For when they gave him this new like sleek design with like black and green, which honestly I didn't like that much. I thought the red and kind of black looked way better, but yeah, they do them, I guess. I understand the whole thing with how Robotnik betrays Knuckles, and then, you know, Sonic becomes his friend, yada yada yada, the normal friendship stuff, but man, it was just kind of awkward when it was so obvious. Even Robotnik says, you literally could just be a baby and you'd see this coming. Like, it was so obvious. But, I don't know. As I mentioned before, though, Agent Stone is really funny in this movie, especially how once he, you know, reunites with Dr. Robotnik after, you know, he gets the Master Emerald, he ends up saying, "Take me with you, please, I want to be your subordinate!" So he does, and then he, you know, he's kind of useless, and I'm putting my bets now. He is going to be the first person that Robotnik roboticizes. Like, he's going to be the first person Robotnik turns into a robot. If he isn't, I'm going to be upset because I'm calling it. That is 100% what's going to happen eventually. One of the biggest complaints I probably have, though, out of this whole movie is its ending. Because I was expecting it to end where Sonic realizes, oh, you know what? Things aren't safe as long as I'm here. Maybe I should go back with Tails and Knuckles back to my world, so I could try to, you know, continue my life out there, you know, and be happy with the family I have here, but, you know, go and, you know, go back to my world. I thought that would have been a great way to end this movie. It would have been the perfect way, because then it would kind of make it clear Robotnik would probably go back to his world, and then we would be set into regular Sonic lore. But then they were like, no, let's just have Knuckles and Tails join his family, because why not? That was such an annoying ending. Although, all in all, I have to say, I did enjoy this movie a lot. The action set pieces were very good, and while the voice acting did take me out of the action a bit because Ben Schwartz's acting when it comes to action scenes is terrible, I still found myself enjoying a lot of it, and especially when Sonic goes Super Saiyan at the end of the movie. Despite that was annoyingly spoiled for me on YouTube, it was still a very cool scene, and I thought it was just really cool, especially when he, like, held out his hand, where it was just like, where he just stops the giant robot that Robotnik decided to make because of his powers with the Master Emerald, where he just straight up stops him. It was epic, and yeah, I'm really struggling with my words here, but overall, I had a very fun time with this movie. I know I sound like I've been criticizing it a lot throughout this review, but I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. I loved most of it. There were the parts I complained about because, you know, sometimes people want to be a bit negative. But if I had to say, this was a huge step up from the first one. It definitely added a lot more. And even though I myself am not like a humongous Sonic fan, I am a small one. I just chose him over Mario because honestly, he just has cooler powers. I still enjoyed this movie. I know a bit of Sonic lore, so this wasn't too unfamiliar with me. Although I was quite surprised by the cameo of Preston Plays. I think I was just Preston, I guess he calls himself now. I mean, I kind of knew it because I saw a video, like a vlog about him being on the set of Sonic, but I didn't think he'd actually be in this. I thought it was like a, oh yeah, I'm gonna be checking out this movie because it'd be a fun vlog. So when he was actually in this, that was kind of cool. My only disappointment is that he didn't have any lines, which would have made this even funnier. But he just kind of stands there. Overall, though, I still think it was a fun movie, and yeah. To conclude this little review, because I don't have that much else to say, because I'm terrible at review making, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was much better than the first one. It was funnier, and it was just more entertaining overall. It was so much fun that me and the guys ended up hanging out with my friend and his other friend. We even went to GameStop afterward and got ourselves some Sonic figurines. Oh, and also some a Sonic 2 Happy Meal. I got Knuckles. But yeah, I also got a Sonic cup, but that's in the fridge because it still has my soda from when I got a refill at the movie theaters. But yeah, anyway, we had a very good time, and yeah, I did enjoy this movie. I found it was very fun, and that's why I give this movie a good 8 out of 10. I think I put the last movie like a 7 out of 10, but this is definitely an 8 out of 10. Definitely a great movie, and I had a very good time watching. So, yeah, that's all for me. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all around. Peace.